What's up guys, Ruppy here, welcoming you to week 6 of UNPL Season 6. I'm not gonna lie guys, this season has not gone at all the way I'd hoped it would. I have a really solid team on paper, I'm running a nickname theme that means so much to me, but it's all been a struggle for most of this season so far. Our frustrations continued last week when Baldy played his game plan to perfection and slowly ground us down until there was nothing left, which I certainly can't fault him for because he played to his team's strengths. That said, however, I wouldn't exactly say our season is over quite yet, but we're definitely going to need a miracle from the Titan himself in order to make this happen. I may not be able to control how other games turn out, but I can try to be the master of my own destiny to give us the best possible fighting chance. So, while I have faith in the magic of the Titan, I'm turning my focus this week to the Turtle Club Torkoals, coached by the aptly named TonyTorkoal. Tony may be winless so far this season, but that doesn't mean his team is any less dangerous. He's definitely gone all in on sun shenanigans, with his mascot Torkoal being able to set it along with stealth rocks, as well as spinning our own hazards away. Exeggutor and Venusaur, who is one of his Tera captains, can take full advantage of the sun with Chlorophyll to outrun most of our team, while Fluttermane, Walking Wake, and his other Tera captain, Brute Bonnet, all get a photosynthesis boost that can become quite troubling if we're not careful. He also has the likes of Corviknight to eat hits and defog away our hazards and terrain, Mamoswine, which is just a powerhouse in general, and even a Ditto that we need to be wary of, lest we allow it to steal any setup we may do to turn the tables on us. Tony's team is dangerous for sure, but with how late into the season we're getting and how badly we need to turn the tide, we're tapping deep into our magical playbook to make this happen. That's why Loose is leading the way for us this week. I'm not bringing Willow because Rillaboom feels iffy into a Sun matchup, but Hawlucha isn't one to let a lack of terrain stop it from using Unburden to outrun Tony's entire team, even under Sun. That's why we're packing a White Herb this week, which will erase the first set of defense drops from close combat, and let Loose outshine even the sunlight. Acrobatics hits stupidly hard once that White Herb is gone, and I have Tera Flying to make sure it hits even harder. Fire Punch to take full advantage of the sun to threaten Corviknight, and a sneaky little bit of tech in the form of Upper Hand, which will out-prioritize and completely shut down any attempts by the likes of Mamoswine, Ambipom, or Brute Bonnet to snipe a KO on Lucha through their own priority. Plus, as long as Tony's Ditto is holding an item, it can't copy Unburden, period. For as good as having one Noseda is, I think we'd fare even better in this game if we bring 2 of them. That's why I'm finally bringing Luce's mom, Camila, off the bench for her first game since the transactions we made. Camila's main goal in this game is getting rid of Corviknight, which we've done a bit of speed creeping for, while also being able to outrun Adamant Max Speed Brute Bonnet and Exeggutor outside of Sun. With Magnet-Pull, Corviknight is not going anywhere, and I also have Choppleberry in case Tony expects this and tries to solve that problem with Body Press. Flash Cannon threatens Fluttermane, and Camila has enough bulk to take Mystical Fire from non-Specs variants outside of Sun. Volt Switch is virtually free once Mamoswine and maybe Zebstrika are gone, and Thunder Wave allows me to slow down Tony's solar-powered speed boosts and make things a lot easier on the rest of our team. Of course, no matter how much speed Tony may have, we have something that still outruns just about anything he could throw at us, courtesy of Hunter. Choice Scarf is making a return this week as we go back to basics here, with Flamethrower to take advantage of the sun to roast Corviknight, as well as Tony's grass types if they don't Tera, U-turn to pivot while also doing serious damage to Brute Bonnet and Exeggutor, Shadow Ball to threaten Fluttermane, and Draco Meteor to wipe out Walking Wake. Plain and simple, the only way Hunter's getting outrun this game is if Tony brings his own Scarf on one of his Sun Sweepers, but in those scenarios, I think I've got the tools to handle them. That brings us to Skara, who's making her long-awaited return to the stage, and she's also rocking her own Choice Scarf this week. If I learned anything from facing a roster like this last season against Viz, it's to not fear the sun weakening water attacks and just going full steam ahead with your water type. especially since Primarina is the perfect answer to Walking Wake in any scenario. I can keep pivoting around with Flip Turn, I have Moonblast to address Wake as well as Brute Bonnet before Tera, and Hyper Voice becomes a water attack thanks to the Liquid Voice ability. Just in case, I'm also packing Aqua Jet with a bit of attack investment for some emergency chip or to pick off weakened threats and allow Scara to remind the world of just what she can do. Next up is someone who's not quite happy with me right now, and that's Emperor Belos. Part of the reason why is the fact that I made him Tera Fairy this week, but I have my reasons. You see, this Coalossal set is specifically designed to Tera, eat a Hydro Steam from Walking Wake even in the sun, and then reach maximum speed thanks to Steam Engine and outrun everything barring Fluttermane outside of Sun. Belos has a ton of bulk at his disposal, and I'm also prepared to unleash Meteor Beam with Power Herb to boost my special attack and really go to town on Tony's roster. Tera Blast Fairy deals with Wake and Brute Bonnet before Tera, Earth Power covers Zebstrika and Torkoal as well as a Roosting Corviknight, and I also have Rapid Spin just to make sure hazards stay off my side of the field. For our final member of our squad this week, Amity is coming along to still try and prove this change into an Overquill was worth the transaction. This time around, she's packing an Assault Vest along with Intimidate to better take hits from virtually Tony's entire roster, especially since Overquill can easily check Fluttermane before it gets out of control with this set. I have Barb Barrage and Crunch for Stab, the former of which always being invaluable for its poison chance, Aqua Jet for priority just like her friend Scara, and we're also getting a little cheeky this week and bringing Fellstinger, as a KO with it on anything will boost Amity to +3 attack and make her an even more threatening presence that will finally get the respect she deserves. That's the magical might we're bringing to Week 6 of UNPL Season 6. I'd like to give a huge thank you to It's Danny Mac and Dapper Snapper for helping me to build this week because, full disclosure, I might have agreed to play this game on fairly short notice while at work. So without their help, this team would probably not exist at all, and I would be a lot more worried and scrambling. Will Tony take advantage of my kind-hearted nature to finally get his first win of the season? Will I finally be able to start turning things around and make these last few weeks quite interesting? We'll find out when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time. Sorry for the delay on, that. There is a, on my commentary jumping in, there is a lot going on my end right now that I'm trying to, work around. Okay, Walking Wake, Corviknight, Fluttermane, Torkoal, Mamoswine, Venusaur. Honestly, I feel like just leading Hunter and just U-turning out is the play. No matter what he brings in. That feels safe to me, in all honesty. I'm pretty sure this is the same 6 he's brought every week. Which is interesting, because he's got Ditto, which has the potential to be pretty nasty to my team. He has a Brute Bonnet. Ambipom Exeggutor, he brought none of it. I'm curious about that. Regardless, good luck, have fun, Tony. Make sure you guys go check out his side of the battle, give him a like and a sub. And let's see if our Columbus Who Owl House edition can somehow get back on the board. He leads the Fluttermane. Interesting. So, with no Sun Up, if he's a Scarf variant, I outrun him. I do not kill with Shadow Ball is the thing, though. So, I want to say my play here is to U-turn out into probably Amity? Yeah, we'll U-turn out for the chip. And then go from there. Well, actually, I would honestly be... he could go he could go either way, honestly. I think I'll go into Amity. Because Amity's AV. And can take a Shadow Ball if that's the way we're going. If we would rather go Moonblast, that is fine. We can deal with that. Go Shadow Ball. Alright, I can take that. Take that pretty well, actually. I don't think your specs. I didn't see a Booster Energy proc. I didn't see Life Orb Chip. I'm pretty sure you switch out here. I'm just gonna go ahead and go for a Crunch, because Crunch should rip this thing apart with its low defenses. It is neutral. Yeah, there we go. Off goes Flutter Mane. In comes Torkoal. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. That Crunch still did a decent chunk. I kind of want to go into Belos now. But then again, you probably Earth Power, maybe? If you keep this thing in, that's the key thing, which, I mean, you probably would. I'm gonna go into Scara. I think Scara's got a pretty solid, pretty solid matchup here. You just set rocks. That's fine, I can spin those away with Belos later. Yeah, I should be able to spin those away with Belos without too much issue. And I mean, in the sun, I don't think you go into Wake. I want to say Corviknight your play. I'm going to flip turn. Because I feel like you switch this thing out. Because it doesn't want to take on Primarina even in the sun. Because if I'm Specs, I could still probably blow this thing back. Of course, I'm not Specs. I'm Scarf. But he doesn't know that. Yeah, he's going to switch. Which is absolutely fine. Into the Venusaur. So we are playing this game right out of the gate. He did tell me he is Tera Ground Venusaur. Which I'm pretty sure he's brought Tera Ground every single week so far. I almost feel like I just go into Lucha now and just go off. It's incredibly tempting, not gonna lie. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I do not care. Because I should be able to take this thing. I mean, I will take rocks. That is fine. He is leftovers. Curious. But Loose should still make a good spot. I'm tempted to just Fire Punch in the sun. No, I'm going to close combat. I am going to close combat because it will pop my White Herb. He goes into Corviknight. Interesting. Well, that's still a good chunk. That will pop my White Herb. He is Rocky Helmet. That is absolutely fair and fine. Because I've got Unburden active now. That close combat did a chunk. I'm just going to Fire Punch. Do some good damage to this thing. Maybe he predicts me to switch. Maybe he goes for a flying move and takes Loose out. That did a ton. I will take more Rocky Helmet Chip, which is fine. He U-turns. Absolutely fine with me. Because at this point, I'm pretty sure I have little to no reason to switch Loose out. Part of me wants to save the Tera Fairy Tech on Coalossal for Wake, but I feel like I might be in a position where Loose could just sweep from here. If I play my cards right. So you are photosynthesis speed. Unless you're Scarf, you do not outrun me. So I'm just gonna go acrobatics and take care of you. Because this should... I mean, with Unburden, Luch should pretty much outrun everything. Because this is what Lucha does. I mean, if you're Scarf, at least I will know that coming out of this. So far, all I've seen from you is Shadow Ball. You are not Scarf, and that is a dead Flutter Mane. Alright, so that is one problem off the table. One problematic path paradox. Which is good, I did not want to have to, Going into Mamoswine. So... You probably Ice Shard me. And this is exactly why I have Upper Hand. I would imagine you realize Unburden's active and go for the Ice Shard. And that's exactly why I have Upper Hand. I'm gonna go for it again, why not? I mean, maybe you don't Ice Shard this time? But... I mean, it's a risk I would rather not make. If I lose to... Oh, you're just gonna switch out. which is fine. Back into Corviknight. Which is fine. The sun is gone, which... It's whatever at this point. I'm pretty sure a Fire Punch still takes you out from here. Yeah, you're under 25%, so I should be able to throw off a Fire Punch even without the sun and pick you off. So that is Corviknight gone. So didn't necessarily need Camila for that. Out comes Torkoal to set the sun back up. Which is fine. I'm just gonna close combat. Do a huge chunk to you, see what you want to do from here. You are gonna Flamethrower and take Luce out, which is absolutely fair. I am honestly fine with that. In the grand scheme of things. Given what's left... I think I'm gonna go Belos. Luce, you did a fantastic job this game. Thank you for lighting the way for what is going to come next. Actually, I'm gonna Terrastalize, but I think I'm gonna Rapid Spin first. Get rid of these rocks. I have no problem with that because I proceed to blow this thing up after the fact with a Meteor Beam, and then Coalossal is in business. So that is going to be the rocks gone. As you body press. Yeah, that's not going to do much to me. Actually, you know what? I'm going to Earth Power to take you out. I'm going to hold off on the Meteor Beam for a moment. So that is the sun gone. So I'm not going to have to worry about that anymore. As we go back into the Venusaur, which is completely fine. So I know your leftovers. I know your Tera ground. And yet, I really don't want to pop the Meteor Beam just yet. I'm going to go into Amity. I want to hold on to that for the moment. Gonna get a Intimidate off on you. I don't think it'll be necessary as you just Sludge Bomb. That's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and crunch you. As you just straight up Earth Power me. And Amity does live that. I do a huge chunk with Crunch. The fact that you're not terrestrializing is really curious to me. Not that I think it matters too much in the long run. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Hunter. I'm gonna preserve Amity for right now because I could maybe use one last Intimidate on Mamoswine, perhaps, in a pinch, or just the Aqua Jet once the sun is gone. I can take this Earth Power easily, and now it's disabled because of Curse Body. So I should outrun you. You're at a point where Draco would definitely kill. A Flamethrower also would if you don't terrestrialize. I'm just gonna drop a Draco. And that is the end of Venusaur. Maybe this invites, it invites Mamo in, which is of little surprise to me. And on that note... Okay. How many turns of Sun are left? This is the last one. That is actually perfect. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna sack Amity here. She can join her Sweet Potato in being KO'd. It's fine. Just because, one, this is an Intimidate off on this Mamoswine. Knock off. Which is fair. And now... that allows for me to send out Scara. With no sun in the way. You know what? I'm gonna flip turn. In case he switches to, wait. Yeah, flip turn will take this thing out. And I think I'm going to go into Belos. Yeah, I think I'm going to go into Belos to wrap this up. Potentially. Well, I say wrap up, but that might depend on how this next turn actually plays out. I'm just going to Meteor Beam. So I can get my +1. It's probably not necessary, honestly, but I want to show off the tech. This was my original plan for last week against Baldy, except with Tera Grass. But he Hydro Steams, which Belos takes. That activates Steam Engine. I fire off this Meteor Beam. And do a ton of damage to this thing in the process. And we finish it off with a Tera Blast because I should outrun it now because of Steam Engine, and that is going to do it! Great game, Tony. GG's. Again, make sure you guys go check out his side of the battle and give him a like and a sub. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my chest. I feel like I have been drowning for the past few weeks because of how this season has played out so far. And it honestly feels good to get back on the board. It feels like a relief. Maybe there is... I'm not going to rule anything out. Maybe there is still hope. But if nothing else, even if playoffs are out of the question, I want to end the season off on a high note. So we will keep forging ahead. So with that said, thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy, and my Columbus Swoo and I will see you guys next time. Take care.